Wells and Hitchcock almost feel like opposites in how they use black and white and space, even though they're working with some of the same basic tools. Wells, especially in Citizen Kane and the magnificent Ambersons, pushed deep focus, foreground, midground, and background all legible at once. That meant smaller apertures, higher f-numbers, lots of light, and lens choices and staging that kept planes of action within a usable depth of field. Hitchcock, by contrast, often used more normal focus relationships. The foreground or subject is dominant, and the background is present but not always equally sharp or equally important. The lens and staging direct attention more narrowly. This difference in focus philosophy feeds directly into how each director uses composition and blocking. Wells loads the frame with information at multiple depths. Hitchcock tends to sculpt attention more tightly. Wells leans into high contrast, deep blacks, bright highlights, and strong chiaroscuro. This makes silhouettes, shadows, and graphic shapes very powerful. Dark areas often fall close to true black, so the image has punch and drama. Hitchcock's black and white, especially in his earlier and mid-period work, often uses softer contrast, lots of midtones, blacks that are not fully crushed, and relatively even fill. This makes the world feel smoother and more neutral, which lets suspense come from camera placement and story rather than from highly stylized lighting. High contrast pairs naturally with Wells's deep focus. With so much of the frame sharp, he needs bold light and shadow to guide your eye. Lower contrast pairs well with Hitchcock's more controlled focus and blocking. He can direct attention through staging, cutting, and abnormal lens without the image itself shouting. Wells' frequent use of wider lenses for interiors, which exaggerate depth and make the distance between foreground and background feel larger. In deep focus, this gives that characteristic sense that characters in different planes are all active in the same shot, but clearly separated in space. Hitchcock, preference for normal lenses, around the 50mm equivalent, especially for key scenes, keeps perspective more natural and less exaggerated. Space feels flatter and more psychologically neutral compared to Wells. The audience isn't constantly aware of the depth as a subject in itself. Combine wide lenses, deep focus, and high contrast and you get Wells's look, visually aggressive, theatrical, and layered. Combine normal lenses, more moderate depth of field, and softer contrast and you get Hitchcock's, visually controlled, invisible style in service of tension. In Wells, the image often announces itself. The frame is about power, hierarchy, and fate. A character in the foreground may be small and in shadow while someone far back looms in bright light, and both are sharp. The contrast and depth let you read that symbolism instantly. In Hitchcock, the image is more about subjective experience and suspense. Because the world is less graphically extreme, you slide into the character's point of view more easily. Lens choice and moderate contrast help the camera disappear so you primarily feel anxiety, not stylization. So in short, Wells uses deep focus and high contrast to turn space and light into overt dramatic tools, while Hitchcock uses moderate focus and softer contrast to keep the world psychologically natural and let suspense and blocking carry the weight.